and the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under.
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young.
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in. Yeah. We broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young.
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Slow lesson.
Young TV.
So let me see what time it is. 9:32. That's 96. That's 69 on the balance flip on the turnaround. So I'm about to get into some stuff here. I gotta adjust this for the lighting. So I'm gonna let y'all get a chance to get in before I get started. But this episode of Chiefing with the Chief, Chiefing with Chief Pontiac, is called The U.S. versus Us, Cowboys, Indians, and Outlaws. Y'all might want to share this one. This one I'm just getting a shout out to all of the brothers out there and the sisters that's doing the work to try to get this message to our people on what happened to us and how we end up where we don't got our birthright. So I'm gonna use this device to try to share some receipts with y'all when I start going in. So share, and then share. And then post it on your other social media. Let them know on Instagram, Rod Harry's Live on Facebook. This about to be one that's going to wake you fucking up. You finna wake the fuck up from this one. Because if you don't know we was at war, and you don't know that we was at war against the United States government, and you don't know that they the reason why we lost our identity from trying to hide from their assassins. But you don't even know who their assassins was. We about to get into it. The first thing that we need to understand is the United States is a federal corporation owned by the Crown of England and the Vatican. It's primarily a British holding. It used to be two corporations. It used to be the Virginia Trading Company and it used to be the Northwest Trading Company as the overseers of what they called the 13 colonies. And in the course of this, these two corporations merged in what we know as the um, as we know as the Revolutionary War. They told us, hold on, I'm looking up a receipt right quick. So what they told us that the Indians was scalping the paleface Cowboys, and they told us that it was some people with they call Native Americans now. We call them $5 Indians because they was created by the Dawes Roll and the Dawes Act. For a fee of $5, they entered them on the roll. It was a Trail of Tears when they switched us out with the $5 Indians under Andrew Jackson. Right? Now, the receipt I was just looking up was Genghis Khan's descendants. Now, I told people on the Young Elder show, I said, look, the Moors was called Etruscans before they became Moors after King Maurice of the Ottomans. And these Moors was at war with several different subgroups of people. They was at war taking prisoners of war from the Huns, as in Attila the Hun. They were at war with the Khans, as in Genghis Khan. And they was at war with the people of India called the Vedics. And these are the people that made up the European slave class. And then they had the Indo-European, no, the Neo-European is the correct term. Neo means new. They had the Neo-European offspring that they had in the harems that they amalgamated with and created what we call today the Khazarians. The Khazarians is from a place in Europe called the Prussian Mountains. The Prussian Mountains was once called Khazaria. The Prussian Empire was a post Roman Empire that rose up prior to modern day Russia. We had strong support in our wars with the French, Portuguese, the Dutch, the Spanish, the Italians. We was fighting all of them niggas. They wasn't pale faces yet. Pale face don't start making it over here until like the 17 and 1800s. The first wave they brought over, when they tell you that they had slaves on the Mayflower. Well, you got to know the people that was on the Mayflower, which was known as the good ship Plymouth. When Malcolm say we didn't land on Plymouth Rock landed on us. That's what he was talking about. So they had the 3 ships that came before them with Columbus, the Pinta, the Nina, and the Santa Maria. These 3 ships was led by niggas. But see, they wasn't called niggas. We gonna go into the history of how we got to be called niggas, because we wasn't called niggas, we was called nagas. And they know who we were, and they waged war against us because all of the high chiefs was in what was called the between life cycles. That means there was no high chiefs on the land, and that they outranked them in the lodges by ranking system, because there was no high chiefs. They didn't respect the chiefs that was in training, learning to rule as the chiefs. Now, the People they brought over here with them, we call them today Native Americans and $5 Indians. If you go to Google, and if you think I'm playing, you can do it, but I'm about to pull it up for y'all 1 second. And you say, how many people, men, are descendants of Genghis Khan? Now, the basic statistic is that it's 1 in 200 people that descend from men that descend from Genghis Khan following his Y chromosome, right? Now notice we over here, we have what was called the Amaru Khans in southwestern United States. It was an amalgamation of the Chinese royal families under Genghis Khan, under Kublai Khan, and the rest of the family that was marrying and intermarrying into the old Mississippians. And the old Mississippians is the Earth Root tribe. Now, Genghis Khan had a ridiculous amount of offspring. And his son, Kublai Khan, who was his successor, also had a ridiculous number of offspring spread in the Y chromosome of the Khans. But they was not the Li family. The Li family is an entirely different group of Asians that was chocolate color with straight hair. They married into the lines in the after Columbus's settlement when they came in to assist with the construction of the railroads, the iron workers of the railroads, and they made truces with the railroad Mississippians, them 7-foot tall, muscle-bound Crips, them 7'4" muscle-bound Bloods, but they wasn't called that at that time. They was just the old Mississippians. They was the Toltecs. They was the Maya. They was the Inca. They were the Aztecs. They was the how you say that word in the native tongue? Nah, which is the people. Just like when they came in with the Spanish language, they couldn't pronounce the way that we pronounce our words. And that's why in our Southern drawl, we have a whole different descriptive analysis of our communication with these people. So you see me and Young Elder was doing the City Slicker Country Boy Code Flip Tribe Talk in the public, in everybody's face, so that y'all could see that just because he a little bit of country and just because I'm a little bit of city don't mean we don't know who he is and that we know the lingo of the tribes, even when we move into modern times using a foreign language, a foreign spiritual concept called religion that didn't exist over here prior to 1492. We was one with nature, one with the earth. Under Father Sky, we roamed across Mother Earth. And at any given time that we needed to call the ancestors, we looked to the sky and we spoke to the great father who walks with the black dog on his heels. For those who don't know what that is, that's the Osirian connection. In your biblical Greek, the word for heaven is Orionos. We talking about the great hunter Orion, which when he's in physical form on earth, he becomes the great father who walks with a black dog on his heels. And I keep a black dog, and don't make me flip my camera and show you he ain't sitting right here. Right? Now, when they came, they brought Mongolians, Huns, and Vedics to do their heavy lifting for them. It was not for another 200 years when warfare and the ones escaping the plantation was them $5 Indians. They had 2 POW camps set up. One major camp in the north, one major camp in the south. Then the South diversified and opened up several different that became known as the Plantation South. The Plantation South, remember, the first part of the plantation is plan, and the second part is Asian, which comes from a nation. It's a national plan. It's a plan to take over your nation. The plantation became the modern day plant or workers' unions, was what we were guilds. When they got here, we had organized workforces. Our families was named after the stuff that they done. The Bridges family built bridges, right? The Banks family worked at Big Mama Banks, and we had Big Mama Banks all across the land. This is where your outlaws come in. But we're going to get back to the economic hitmen because they come up a little later in this story. So they plotting on how to get and conquer the ones of these nappy head Negroes out west. We talking about your Pyrus. We talking about your rolling 60s, your rolling 20s, your OG blood sets, right? And your treetop Pyrus. All of them is ancient clans. The name reveals who they is when you know what side of the family lineage they coming in on, and the trick is to turn us against each other. So this is one of them ones where the OGs out west sit the YGs down and say, this is how they did it. This the one right here. This how they did it. So they brought the Mongolians, they brought the Vedics, and they brought the Huns that was in captivity. This is your Mississippi Masala story. Shout out to Denzel, because King Kong ain't got shit on me. Because motherfucking Gorilla Rod, GD Rod, is knocking on this bitch today. So when they get over here and they are switching us out, now remember, these 3 groups that they brought have similar spiritual practices and backgrounds. They've been misled by their captives that bringing them over here in a hostile manner. Remember, it takes 90 days to get from Africa to the nearest point in the Americas. It takes 2 weeks to get from Europe to America. What's more practical, to bring your slaves from Africa or to bring your slaves with you that you already have in captivity in slave villages called ghettos? Ghettos don't originate over here. Go back to Warsaw, World War II. Who lived in the ghettos? It was the so-called Jews. But them ain't the Jews. They moved up north into Switzerland. This is why when they had that last war in France with the Swiss, they all went into them underground tunnels over there. The whole country of Switzerland didn't even know that they had a whole bunch of darkies with kinky hair walking around in the tunnels under their feet while they was the neutral territory. The only reason they neutral because they was fending us off, putting us against each other on both sides, the east versus the west, the north versus the south. The south will rise again. When it never failed, it was undermined. It was usurped on a sweetheart swindle. Big Mama got hooked up with a banker, and he was a Scottish Rite 32-degree Freemason. This is your George Washington cherry tree Masonic Moorish code. George Washington didn't chop down no cherry tree. He raped the heir, not the female heir. He raped the male heir because the only way he can stop him from ousting him from the land, because he was the only high chief at the time, is to rupture his root chakra, his cherry, bust his cherry, his dukshu. Babylonian sex magic. Go look it up. Babylonian blood magic. Go look it up. They using all of this against us. Babylonian money magic. They use it and they incorporated it all in the biblical text that they sent a pedophile priest cult over first to rock us to sleep. Because you notice, when Columbus came, he wasn't guns a-blazing. He had to go back and give a report to somebody. They say it was Isabella and Ferdinand, but they was beheaded. So we know they was in cahoots with the Dirty Moors, because that's why they got beheaded. But then you still got these uprisings all across France, Italy, Portugal, and Spain, trying to get rid of these motherfuckers that's coming over here. The first stop they was stopped at was northwestern Africa, aka Al-Maghrib. There was no Morocco, there was no Libya, there was no Tunis. None of them countries existed when Columbus came here. That was a broad territory of land called Al-Maghrib. And then the part that was Afrique was a little river valley stronghold of the traders who sold out Hannibal of Carthage, right? Up there, there's a little river run called Afrique. This is where they got the whole concept to call Africa after the Berlin Conference, because it was a play on Afrique. If you go to the Arabic, the word Ifraka is what they were saying in the negotiations at the Berlin Conference when they divided the continent up over there. Now remember, all the way down into Brazil, coming up into the islands, we've been marrying and intermingling and intermarrying with Africans for thousands of years before Columbus came. So this is why they use the African narrative to disassociate us from the land. But in their science, we not called Africans. In their science, they call us Los Negritos. Look up it. I'm going to pull it up, see what it say. We a whole different genetic stock from the whole of Africa. We were called by these people Los Negritos, right? And they translated to in modern English as the little niggas. That's what the negrito means, little nigger, in modern English. Now, when they was doing this, we was fighting the Gullah Wars in Florida. We were fighting South America. We was fighting Cortez and the hordes that came looking for Cordoba. Cordoba, the city of gold. Cordoba means gold. They was looking for the city called Cordoba. And Cordoba is supposed to have been where we had our gold reserves, and they was looking in the wrong hemisphere. They was looking in South America. But if you go to the Nicolas Cage movie called National Treasure, it'll show you where our gold was kept, and it's still there. It got dust on it because Big Mama shut her bank down, and even the goddamn devil don't want to go up in there messing with Big Mama stuff. He gonna try to trick us into surrendering Big Mama stuff to him so that he can say that we surrendered our birthright. We ain't back down. We ain't quit. We ain't retreat. We didn't surrender. We backed up, regrouped, came a different way to fight a different war. Now, during this time, they had something called U.S., and pull it up, U.S. Indian Bounties. And look what it says. The United States government and colonial authorities offered bounties on Native American scalps and other body parts from the 17th to the 19th century. Now, they came in 1492. That was the 15th century. So from the 1500s to the 1800s, there was a bounty on our head. It's a Spencer Phipps proclamation in 1755. The Massachusetts Lieutenant Governor issued the Spencer Phipps proclamation, which offered bounties for Penobscot Indians captured and brought to Boston. The bounty was 50 pounds for a living male captive, 40 pounds for a dead male scalp, 25 pounds for a female scalp, and 20 pounds for a child scalp. They was killing the babies like they doing now. Now look, pay attention. This is not denominations known as dollars. Who weigh their money in pounds? Straight motherfucking British. That's British money market value until they switched over to the euro. Now, New Hampshire, 1724, the New Hampshire legislature authorized a bounty of 100 pounds for each male scalp turned in. Women's scalp were worth half as much as men's, and children's scalps were worth half as much as women's. That means it was $100 for a man, $50 for a woman's scalp, $25 for a child scalp. These the people that's running this country that Trump is fighting against. This who they fighting against. The same motherfuckers, they haven't changed. The same motherfuckers that tried to kill Tupac. The same motherfuckers that tried to kill Nipsey Hussle. I got the nigga page when he put the hit on him. I seen it all. His mama told me where to look and I found that shit. So I know the nigga, what he looked like. This nigga walked up on me in the penitentiary in the 90s. And then I see this motherfucker in California with Nip. And then he tried to use my motherfucking rap name. But he couldn't spell it right to break the conjure. Because they thought they was going to trick me into giving them the keys to the house. It ain't going to work because I'm always 10 steps ahead of you motherfuckers. This is chess, not checkers. What Tupac say? We done seen too many real players fall to let these bitch niggas beat us. Right? So this probably going to be a flagged ass video. So if you're going to put it up on a different channel, you might want to do some beeping or some silent marks on some of the profanity. Because I'm cutting loose on their ass today. Now, California. Remember, we got these Bloods, these Crips, these Cholos, these Vatos, these Lokes, all out there in Cali. At one point, California offered a bounty of around $25 for a male body part and $5 for a child or a woman. It goes on. That's not all of them. The U.S. Dakota War 1862 bounties. Indigenous people, they off reminder, and that ain't it. Phipps Bounty Proclamation, Upstandard Project. The California Indian Scalp Bounty. Scalping, Wikipedia. Now, they've been telling us that the Buffalo Soldiers, right, was some other people. How is you a Buffalo Soldier and you ain't from where the Buffalo from? First of all. So the Black Buffalo Clan is the stealth priests responsible to defend all nations whose totem animal is the great buffalo called the Tatanka. If you want to know who Angel Bay is, that's him. The Chicago Bull is the bison. He's supposed to gore all of these motherfuckers, which brings us to the Vice Lord, Bobby Gore. Bobby Gore is one of the 5 Lord Kings, right? This is all tribal shit. This is not no gang banging shit. We brain banging in this motherfucker. And I'm gonna bang y'all brains free today. These motherfuckers then, they instituted a regional separation of tribes. This is what they did. They sent a contingent to the northeast to fight the Indians or the organics of the New York territories. New York was not the name of the place, right? This is where your Shinnecock come from, your ODB, your LL Cool J, your Flavor Flav, them Shinnecock. Then they sent another contingent, because remember, we was all going to the South to fight the Gullah War. They backdooring us the whole time, and we don't know it. So while we going to the South, to Florida, to fight in the Gullah Wars, because Big Mama said all hands on deck. Big Mama got her gun, and we rolling. Ain't nothing to talk about. Ain't nothing. All we want to know is what part of the war is you gonna fight, and I'm gonna go get the other part that you don't know about. Now, while we going down there, they send these niggas, Lewis and Clark. They wasn't pale faced like they told us. Them was some melanated Moors, and they had a translator with them that they try to cover up. Then y'all know him in the history books as Big Ben Bay, Benjamin Banneker, who fez is in the George Washington Memorial with all of the dirty Moors that we went to war with. Let that sink in. Big Ben Bay, Benjamin Banneker, the first American to so-called make a clock. We don't need no clock. We beyond time. We ageless, timeless souls. So they create the clock in order to trap us in the confines of a construct called time. Somebody call 19 Keys. We finna seal this up. Somebody call Yaki Awaken. We finna wrap this up. Somebody call Seven Bomar. Somebody call Orisha Bookman down there in Florida. Somebody call Sharice. Somebody call my Phoenix Rising. We about to wrap this shit up today. So we've been fighting a war for 500 years, protracted struggle. For 1492, we've been the indigenous motherfucking warriors battling this machine. The war is not going to stay bloody warfare. We fought to a stalemate. The French sent a contingent to Haiti, got their ass whooped. That's divine insight. That's why he in there. He's in prison in the territory that the French formerly occupied as part of the Louisiana Purchase. That's Tucson, right? So now you come to Chief Pontiac, up here with the Ottawa, and the Chippewa, and the Saginaw, right? We all up here in the murder mitten, fighting the same dirty motherfuckers. And they come up here, so they start sliding these $5 Indians into our camps, selling them in what's called the Freemason auction. And if you don't believe they was auctioning us back off after they captured us on a different part of the land, it's a book called The Moors and Freemasonry that talks about the auctions. They was selling us back to our tribes, but they wouldn't sell you back to the tribe you was from. They sold you to a foreign tribe, and that's how they slid these $5 Indians in on us. When they slide the $5 Indians, how you know they there? Because they stabbing us in the back, literally. Chief Pontiac got stabbed in the back by a $3 Indian. I don't even want to call him $5, $2.50, make change, nigga. Right? So we at war. We at war. The old Mississippians is backing up the Louisiana territory and the Port Nola. That was the intake for immigrants. Go ask Chief Warhorse if you think I'm lying. Right? So we had to send troops there. Now they done went around with DeSoto and them, they went around South America, come up and bomb the Califia Queens. This was an all-women's resort, goddess glow-up type situation that all of the women, when they went through their rites of passage, had the option to go do their intern to develop their femininity in that succulent sexiness of the woman. And this is where we really went, the West Coast G's went off the charts. Because half of them is on their way to Florida when they making a double back. Okay, so now in come the Cowboys. They didn't call them boys. They didn't call Paleface boy. Who was the Cowboys? Cherokee Bill and them. Right? Cherokee Bill and them is the Cowboys. The Buffalo Soldiers ain't no motherfucker. They not working for them people. The real Buffalo Soldiers was the Black Buffalo clan that came in on the cleanup. Angel Bay, Chief Malik, Jeff Ford out of Chicago is the leader of them, the law on the land, the Buffalo, the Tatanka, the Big Bull, right? And so now we don't want to talk about this stuff. because they got us thinking we the devil. They got us thinking we evil. They got us thinking we wicked. They got us thinking everything but who we is. We the gods of the earth. We the salt of this motherfucker. We would change the culture in your face on the drop of a dime. If you don't think we will, watch when y'all take rock and roll how we switch up to hip hop. Watch how y'all take jazz, we switch up to disco. When y'all tried to take ragtime, we switched up to hard bop. When y'all took the hard bop, we switched up to bebop. Right? When y'all tried to take the blues, we dropped the rhythm and blues. We keep moving. Y'all trying to keep up with us. We ain't keeping up with y'all. Right? So now we have to use every stratagem of war. Why? It's a book called Strategies of the Crescent Moon. And it's quoting from the Quran that the Moors follow. That's from these Islamic Ottoman fallen agents that's being exiled over here. They throwing the trash out and they dumping it on our shores. And they ain't never stopped dumping trash since they got here. Everything we did was harmonious with the earth before 1492. Now, nothing we do is in harmony with the planet. Who fault is that? We didn't do that. That's not our doing. That's some foreign outsiders interfering in our cultural behaviors that's natural to us. We will whoop a motherfucker ass. Don't get it twisted. We will go upside. But when we realize that, wait a minute, they turning me against my cousin and them. Let me go talk to my uncle and let him know what they doing to me and my cousin, trying to turn us against each other so he can tell us how to fight this war the right way. Matula Shakur. Right? Farrakhan. What we supposed to do? We need some guidance. We need some direction. They killing off our generals in real time. Right? And so if they killing off our generals, we got to disguise them as regular niggas. Regular old niggas. They got to be just as plain and regular as everybody else, but they got to be able to peep game. Good game people are game, like a rhino running through the roughest pack. They say the number trigger have, so I step back, breathe. Right? That's a Flintstone. The Flintstone cartoon with the Buffalo Lodge is about the Buffalo soldiers who was stationed in Flint, Michigan, that became known as Flintstones to the tribes. Right? I'm telling y'all where everybody at. It's up to y'all to put it together and to get the message out to the rest of us. It's over with. They can't beat us. They couldn't beat us with the hands. They lost that fight. They couldn't beat us with the guns. They brought the guns and still lost that fight. Now they want to come with the bombs. They blew us up. They flooded us out. They burnt up our cities. They burnt up our families. Giant Africa, Philadelphia moved. They didn't stop. We had to stop because we had to educate ourselves out of the condition, and we knew they was going to cheat. That's why we walk around with a handbook of their rules. Right? All of the rules to the game is in their books, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Mishnah, the Talmud, all they perverted holy books that's all about molestation of children, a murderous, rampaging deity that's running around killing everybody and blaming the devil of being the evil one who didn't kill nobody. I don't think he might have one body in the whole Bible. Right? So now, they come in, Muhammad, on his night journey, riding his Baruch, which is an ass, right? But that's supposed to have been the Jesus story, so they had to turn it into a mythical beast. So they can't tell you that Muhammad rode into town on an ass because that's what ISIS did. Because Big Mama don't walk nowhere unless she choose to. Because one of her baby boys is going to pull up in a limousine. They going to pull up with the motorcade. They going to pull up with the security. When y'all realize what's going on and y'all realize how they played us against each other, we going to stop fighting each other and we going to start seeing them dirty Moors. They going to expose themselves. They going to expose themselves because they not going to be able to contain themselves when we know who we are. They going to expose themselves. They going to tell on themselves. They going to try to do everything to tear us down. But they ain't going to be able to do it because we know who we is now. The gig is up. Them old Mississippian gorilla knocking tribes is coming to the forefront to reclaim what's rightfully ours, and we done already did it. I done walked them through the whole process. They look like us. They ain't us. Ask Kendrick if you think I'm playing. Matter of fact, don't even ask Kendrick. Ask the dragon, the Draco. Drake. Right? Because he'll tell you, no, they ain't like us. Right? But I bet you he be grass dancing like a original. When he telling you what Kendrick said, they ain't like us, Drake gonna be grass dancing. Old native tribal stomping. Y'all gotta pay attention, man. They playing these dynamics out as artists to slide into the public domain, the secret, and put it in the open. It's in the open now. The gig is up. The cat is out the bag. These OG Negroes that y'all called nigga, we didn't realize that what y'all couldn't pronounce was the Nagas. And we didn't linked up with the Amaru and the Khans. And we didn't form tribal confederacies under your nose, making peace treaties on the slab, on the grave, in the penitentiary. See, you keep throwing people in the penitentiary and you think we too stupid. Remember, we couldn't end the Attica riot until we had that conversation with the minister, because we needed to know where he's staying. Go back and look at the Attica riots, the 71 Attica riots. What ended the riots? We needed to get a message to somebody, and we needed to get a message from somebody. Go find out who we asked for. Then you will understand how this shit is played. We playing chess on the highest level. They playing fourth dimensional chess. I'm laughing at them because I'm playing ninth dimensional chess. They ain't even got to my dimension yet, let alone come around here and tell us who we is. We know who we is. Chief Pontiac know who we is. I inherited that fight, and I'm going to take this motherfucker to the hilt. They know. I went down to the police station, to the sheriff's office, and told them, y'all on my territory. I need y'all to start packing y'all shit. And they looking at me like I'm from outer space, like, who is you? You don't know who I am now, but when it's all said and done, you gonna know Chief Pontiac spoke. You ain't got no business here without my permission. Not on my land. And it's just like Tupac said. If I'm going out on my own land. You're not finna take me out on no foreign soil, on another chief's territory. You're not finna pull me up under a different chief's land and execute me so that chief can take the fall from it from the rest of the tribes. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Y'all don't know who, I'm telling y'all, the Bone Thugs and Harmony. Them all Cleveland Indians. Them Ohio boys. They right down the street from me. Busy know what's up. Go listen to Busy. He ain't crazy. He know exactly what he talking about. He an old red man chief. He came back a little lighter due to amalgamation because he in past lives, he was my complexion, but I was much darker too. Right? But now we see the whole game. The battlefield is upside down now. We didn't expose all of the dirty players. If Malachi York didn't expose them, Farrakhan exposed them. If Farrakhan didn't expose them, Clarence 13X exposed. If he didn't expose them, Yahweh Ben Yahweh exposed them. Every time they come at one of us, they expose their hand as to who they really is. Martin Luther King. Who killed his mama? A Hebrew Israelite. Why do that matter? Because that's who we've been fighting this whole time. Moorish Zionist Jews who live in gated communities in upstate New York. They live in gated communities in upstate New Jersey. They live in gated communities in California. They look at us like parasites, but they sucking the blood out of us. They calling us the parasite, and they sucking our lifeblood. And our children is just supposed to suffer, grit and bear it while they raping our babies. And we ain't supposed to say nothing. We ain't supposed to do nothing. We supposed to go along to get along. Nigga, bullshit. That old Martian shit is over with. Because I'm telling you now, if Chief Pontiac Rod Hayes march somewhere, I'm going to have about 100,000 Crips, about 100,000 Bloods, about 100,000 Vice Lords, about 100,000 GDs, about 100,000 BDs, about 100,000 Black Souls. I'm having every tribe, 100,000 Hells Angels, 100,000 of them, the pale faces that took over the KKK, because y'all thinking that was a Christian organization. That was a secret society that was formerly known as the Black Brotherhood of Spain, and them niggas is still over there in the same regalia they was in when they brought that shit over here. And that's the black hen they feared in the South. That Clayton Bigsby ass nigga who head hanging from under the robe. Fuck them niggas. I don't got no mercy for them. I don't got no sympathy for them. I don't want don't come shaking my hand. Don't come kissing my ass. Get off the land. Get off the, y'all want the wrong people off the land. I want the dirty players off the land. I want the turncoats, the backstabbers, the usurpers, the interlopers, the ones masquerading like they original to the land and they all the time foreign agents. They not registered under the Foreign Agent Act because they don't want you to know the United States is a foreign corporation. It was set up the same way they set Halliburton up in Iraq and Afghanistan after the Gulf War. It's the same corporation. Northwest Trading Company, Virginia Trading Company, merged again, and they became known as the United States Corporation. But we don't know this because they got us believing that we won the Revolutionary War and the North won the Civil War. Bullshit and bullshit. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. But as long as we letting them tell the story and control the narrative, we victims to the system. They waged war against us. Look, they call us non-treaty tribes, outlaw tribes. This is your outlaws. Not them motherfucking economic hitmen that they was sending in to rob Big Mama banks. Go back and watch the movie Hateful Eight again. Go back and watch that other movie with Cherokee Bill in them, and you see who was doing the robbing. They look like us, but they not us. That we was fighting people that looked like us, but they wasn't us. They were scared of them brothers that came out of the deep south of Louisiana that looked like Bass Reeves with that super mustache, right? Now, this is the one for my Latinos. Jefe Blanco, the man with the white suit. Jefe Blanco, the man with the white suit. That nigga is the one who went and slid up under Cesar Chavez, not Cesar Chavez, Pancho Villa, and had him sell out Emilio Zapata, the real soldier in the revolution for the Mexicans. The real Zapatista, right? Y'all don't know about this because y'all not saturated in the revolution of your freedom and overthrowing a foreign agent that's sitting on your back. I got tutored by some of the coldest OGs that you ever want to see, and they told me. So when the Mexican OGs told me about the conquistadors, and then these brothers telling me about the dirty Moors, and then the righteous Moors is being tricked out of their money by the dirty Moors in the Moors house, and I don't supposed to see none of that, got me twisted. I'm seeing it all. I don't turn the blind eye to bullshit. I look at that motherfucking bullshit straight in this motherfucking eye. Right? They got my chief locked up for 50 fucking years for nothing. They done set this man up. This man ain't did nothing. They done accused this man of ordering some shit with no evidence that he ordered nothing. COINTELPRO operations, Rex 84. If it ever come a time where they realize who they is, we gonna round all of their leaders up, all of the men that could possibly be this so-called black messiah. Ain't no goddamn black messiah. There's no man. The black messiah is a woman, you stupid motherfuckers. The black messiah, the only black messiah is the black woman. You can't escape that. I wouldn't give a fuck if I married 1,000 white chicks today. The truth of the matter is the anointed one is the black Madonna. That's Empress Redbird, and you don't have to believe me. When these motherfuckers get done bowing down, though, y'all gonna believe me. Y'all gonna know, goddamn, that nigga out cold. I was looking for her. She was looking for me, but I didn't know who I was looking for till I bumped into her. She had all of the receipts to all of the work I was doing, and I couldn't figure out. She got to be the one because they gave her the paperwork that they wrote. Foundational documents, fruit of the poison tree doctrine. This is how you overthrow them motherfuckers. You can fight them in their courts, and you're going to lose because they don't got... None of us, organic originals, we all fall under the 3/5 compromise Dred Scott because we don't know who we are and we don't know where we at. Well, today we know who we are and we know where we at. We 5/5 realized, bitch. Run my shit. Make my people whole. We ain't talking about let my people go. No. Unloose my shit. That's what you do. Because pretty soon we get to the point where I'm going to have to unloose some thugs. I'm going to have to unloose some outlaws. Some 1% bikers. I'm going to have to unleash them. I don't want to do it. Because Big Mama told me, my mama told me when I was growing up, she said, baby, if you do what I tell you, you ain't going to have to fight nobody. All you have to do is claim what's yours. I'm claiming what's mine. Only way I can claim mine is to tell you who the rightful heirs is. And all over the world, it's a collection of Big Mamas. Different skin tones, different hair textures. This is what you see when you see the Filipino pop up on Dr. Kia Pruitt's show. Talking about she an heir. She ain't lying. She ain't lying. She from the White Dragon clan over there. Trump had to go to her family to get the receipt in order to prove that we was over here claiming our shit in order to get our gold from the Vatican. 650 planes of gold taken from the Vatican under Donald J. Trump. Come on now. Y'all don't see this stage show playing out, this theatrical performance that they called an election. Stop falling for their shenanigans. Stop falling for it. This shit is over with. This shit is over with. We on fire today. We not playing. Right? Somebody let Brother Rich know. Post this on, put this up on this page when I get done. Tell young girl to put this motherfucker up. We going in. Now, they put the $5 bounty out, but the history books, they telling you that these natives is scalping the 49ers, the ones going out there to mine for gold. Then we go to that gold shit again. They going to California to mine for the gold, but they don't know that not only is it gold in the land, the people in California is the gold. That's the grit, that's the worth, that's the value, because only the people from California can function correctly in California in order to control the resources of the land, the air, and the water, which is the great law, which overrides the law of the high seas, which sinks your maritime ship. Your motherfucking ship was sunk on January the 6th. Pelosi, we sent the shaman. He was pale-facing a motherfucker, but he came and sat behind that desk, and he only had to be there for 1 minute, and he sat there for 5. And the police let him in. And the DC police let him in. All them people that they talking about was insurrectionists on January the 6th was let in and gave a whole tour by the motherfucking Capitol Police. And when they was leaving with podiums and shit, that was called capturing the ship. For those who don't know, Battleship is a game that we used to play back in the 70s and the 60s. Well, I started playing it in the 70s. I was a little boy because I was born in the late 60s. But we sank their battleship that day. It was over with that day. Now, we just going through this to make sure that y'all know what happened. Because only by y'all knowing what happened will y'all understand what we doing when we reclaiming the land. When Sipico put the Pope on notice, she said, the chiefs have been selected across the land. Govern yourself accordingly. And he was froze because he knew that she was not playing. What'd he do? He went back to the Vatican and sent back a response. Discovery doctrine rescinded. That means every piece of paper founded on the discovery doctrine, including your United States Constitution, your secondary corporate constitution, including your right to settle, your white man's birth, all that was rescinded under the discovery doctrine. The only problem was they keep calling us minors. They ain't talking about coal miners. They ain't talking about gold miners. They calling us miners because in law, a miner means you an imbecile in law. Cali with me, though. I ain't worried about it. Cali with me. They ain't playing. Look, when I told them hit him in the pockets, what the OGs say? Look, under Cali law, the legal beagles talking out of the system now. Under Cali law, you know if it's more than 300 people, that's considered a riot, and nobody can get more than 30 days for a riot, participate in the riot, because it falls under the control of irresistible impulse. And the supporting document is a book called The Crowd by Gustave Le Bon, where he say that under the influence of the crowd, the individual loses all sense of itself and only can follow the will and the power that the crowd drives him in. Hello, critical mass, 100 monkey effect. Bust them in they badussi. That's what you do. 100 monkey effect. Bust them in they badussi. So what they do? 1,000 niggas in Nordstrom. 1,000 niggas in the jewelry store. 1,000 niggas on the train. That's mob action. That's mob action. That's MOB. That's mothers over bitches, we say. Right? Mothers over bitches. We love the mothers, but we don't give a damn about a bitch. Because they sent them slimy bitches in to undermine us and get us caught up in these child support cases, in these sex cases, and all of these fabricated molestation cases, while they protecting the pedophiles that's coming into the schools dressed like women. All the time, this motherfucker got a beard thicker than mine, a mustache and eyebrows thicker than mine, talking about he don't know if he a man or a woman, and he in a dress reading books to your kids in the name of the goddamn Statue of Liberty, drag queen, pedophile, priest cults from Rome. This the fall of Rome. Babylon been failed. I've been told y'all that. I announced the fall of Babylon in 2018, 2019. So Babylon over with, and this is the last grip that we breaking. Soon as y'all understand the United States is not our government, the United States only want us to vote. Your vote don't mean nothing. They don't want the voter. They want the organizer, so they can know who to pay off, who to bribe, who to give benefits to keep the rest of the niggas under control, and it ain't working no more. Because even the ones who they thought didn't see their game, peeping their game now, they're like, hold on, this is a new group of chiefs coming up, and these motherfuckers is beating their chest like some real gorillas. They like some George Jackson, Soledad Brother, Black August type shit. Niggas like that, the quintessential destructive force of nature, all in the form of pure intelligence. We don't have to beat up nobody. All we got to do is get our clans to know what's going on. We ready. We ready. Ship this out west. Let them Crips and them Bloods dissect this for the YGs. Let the OGs break this down. The triple OGs break this down for the YGs. Let them know what I'm talking about. Pull the receipts that I'm calling out while I'm calling them out, and y'all see this shit clear as day. They can fool a whole bunch of people, but they can't fool me. My mama told me a long time ago, it's okay to be fooled, but don't be nobody's damn fool. Right? So I took the fool's journey and became the fucking hero at the end of the tarot deck, when I started off as the zero and ended up sitting in the emperor's seat. Right? Making sure that the empress is well situated. Y'all don't know what's going on. I'm telling y'all what's going on. The white hats, Jefe Blanco, right? Everything they use to tear us down, we had to use it to come up. Jefe Blanco, the one with the white suits and the white hat, that's the Naval Guard. The brass in the Navy wear white. The brass in the Army wear green. The brass in the Marines wear navy blue. The brass in the Air Force, they wear white over black, I believe it is. Right? And then your National Guard wear Army colors. If you see our Army dispatch on domestic soil, that means that they have been sheep dipped by the National Guard. Because what's about to happen is the largest eviction in the history of the planet. And we ain't talking about evicting them from America. We talking about evicting them from the planet. They didn't already ship thousands of motherfuckers, if not millions, off world. Because they can't die here no more. They got to go. So now we just dealing with the henchmen and the minions, the coverers, the ones who was the facilitators for the dirt. And the ones that was sitting at the freak-off parties, seeing everything going on, but they too much of a bitch to say something. They gonna bitch up. My mama say the sealer is as bad as the stealer, right? That means that if you are sitting there with a motherfucker that's stealing, and y'all get caught, you just as bad as him. They call it accessory in law. You can be accessory to the fact, after the fact, or before the fact, but an accessory is an accessory.
And while we climb this mountain, I want to tell you guys about Shopify, a platform that makes starting a business incredibly easy. Shopify helped me turn my YouTube channel into a business, and they can do it for whatever you're passionate about, like climbing mountains. Whew. If you've ever bought my merch or Feastables, you've used it. I'm forever grateful for them because I've been using it.